Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Garage and the Court of Public Opinion. I'm Jeremy Cordeaux. Gary's here. Pete's here. Most importantly, so too are you. Thank you for joining us in the Garage. It is a really weird garage, but then again, it's a weird program. It's eccentric. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with eccentricity. Mind you, there are some eccentrics, probably I'm among them, that they would like to lock up. Who knows? I was going to talk to you about the Whitlam government back in 1972, relating it to today. I don't live in the past, well, apart from the cars. Back in 72, Whitlam, in high dudgeon, sanctioned the South African apartheid regime government. We, through the then Labour government, we the people, boycotted the entire country, South Africa. Sport, trade, education, medicine, entertainment, agriculture, politics, the lot. We sanctioned the entire country and we were proud of it. And why, you ask? Because of their policy of separate development, apartheid. Their nation was divided on the basis of race. We regarded this pretty much universally as appalling. And yes, it was. And what are we doing now? The same thing. You might say in reverse, but it is the same thing. We have this treaty passing into law in Victoria, which is apartheid, pure and simple. Racist. Then, as reported, not that I suspect that it is news, because I know it's been going on for years, but reported in the News Limited papers on Tuesday morning of last week, the disgraceful situation where patients are being triaged on the basis of their race. In fact, one hospital in Victoria actually got a citation for doing it from the Victorian government. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders, or anyone, I guess, who claims to be, goes to the front of the queue. This is happening in hospitals, not just in Victoria, but all over the country. Even the flying doctor. We're talking about the medical profession, the Hippocratic Oath, doctors and nurses who should be blind to what colour a person is. And I'm sure most of them are. I think it's the administration. It's the politics of hospitals. Hospitals can be very political places. It is disgraceful that a person it should be decided how quickly he or she is treated on the basis of his or her race. Healthcare should be colourblind. What's next? Your race is going to decide how well you're treated as opposed to how fast you're treated? It's not acceptable. Patients should be seen and treated based on their medical condition, their medical needs. Perhaps the way to handle this, we just simply, when we're asked, are you an Aboriginal or a Torres Strait Islander? Sometimes we're asked directly, and in many different situations. Other times you're given a form and you have to tick a box. We all just say yes. I think we would all like priority, lunch vouchers, prompt attention, a better deal, more service, better service. You see, we voted against the voice. Not even close. A definite no. We are now getting it by stealth. And we must sound off about it. Then a few years later, after Whitlam, do you remember what Bob Hawke said about ancestry? You can look it up. I can't remember the context in which it came up or in which he said it. But he made the point that no one should be above another simply because of his or her heritage. Now, I agree with that. I would think it would be popularly agreed to everywhere. I reckon what he was talking about, however, I reckon it was the people with a born-to-rule attitude. You know, the squattocracy, the landed gentry. But the principle of universal equality is absolutely right. And preferential treatment, discounts, incentives, given on the basis of one being an Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander is also wrong. You can take it from Bob Hawke himself. No one should have an advantage over another simply because of his heritage. Think about it. Some people should be held to account over these policies that have crept in, and not accidentally. Hundreds of thousands of elderly people are going to be disadvantaged because the system, it's a great system, a good system, the system that provides packages to keep them in their homes rather than in care has been scaled back. Scaled back. Every time the government gets involved, whether it's childcare, aged care, Medicare, NDIS, everything the government gets involved with ends up costing more than it should. Because the providers are after profit. They simply say, oh, no one's paying, just the government. That, of course, means all of us. When is this nonsense going to stop, ladies and gentlemen? Every day when I look for stories to come into the garage and talk to you about on a Tuesday morning at 9 and a Thursday morning at 9, those postings, by the way, stay up there. But every time I sort of look around for things to talk about, I look for kind of quirky, off-the-wall things. There are strange stories every day, but it doesn't get much stranger than this. Can you imagine getting to the final Year 12 exams only to be told the day before that you have been studying the wrong topic? Well, it happened last week in Queensland. 9 high schools were told to teach the 140 students doing ancient history the topic of Julius Caesar. Somehow, 9 high schools thought the exam topic was Emperor Augustus. Now, I'm told that the schools, all schools, including these 9, were notified of the external exam topics for ancient history more than 2 years ago, in August 2023. Sort of goes along with Augustus, doesn't it, August? Anyway, they were reminded again in April 2024. Just how could you possibly muck that up? Gee whiz. And here's something else that really is off the wall. People stealing copper wire. Copper pipes, copper anything. Believe it or not, these ratbags are stealing the copper wire from the lights around community tennis courts, sporting grounds, building sites, construction sites, even the signalling system controlling and keeping our trains safe. Yep, trains running between the capital cities of Australia have to stop several times, sometimes many times, run hours late because the signals have been vandalised for their copper wiring. And it's just plain impossible to police and protect the community from these criminals. If you've got any ideas, 0491 65 68 60. Friday morning, 9 o'clock, 9 till 12. Johnny Mack's going to be on Friday, singing Peter Clayton's song. What's it called again?
Come what may.
Come what may. Come what may. It's a beautiful song.
Thank you.
And he used to record with Elvis Presley, and
he was a support act.
A support
Buddy
act.
Holly,
Buddy Holly as well.
Roy Orbison.
They've all gone, but Johnny Mack hasn't. He's still going strong. He'll be with us on Friday morning. Massive blowouts in the cost of South Australian government projects. Most importantly, the new Women's and Children's Hospital. Delays and overruns all over the place. Anything government touches will never be on time or on budget. Why? I have no idea why. Now, if you want to work for the government and you want government contracts, you'd think that you would be absolutely scrupulous in keeping to the rules. I don't know. Much of the problem is the CFMEU, which is a sacred cow. Labor won't do anything about their outrageous behaviour, the CFMEU. When questioned in Parliament on Wednesday of last week, we have taken action. We have appointed an administrator to clean up the union. Well, I'm sorry. What a failure that was. Nothing. Labor says they knew nothing about the corruption bullying that was being perpetrated by the union for years. Are they really saying that this was the first time they'd ever heard of union corruption? I first heard about it when I was doing the breakfast show on 2GB back in 1972. I was talking about it back then, back in the old BLF days. Norm Gallagher and all of that. He ended up in jail, rotten to the core. Along comes take two, the CFMEU, and this nonsense continues. And it wasn't until when Nick Mackenzie wrote it up on the front page of the Sydney Morning Herald and the Age that Labor was so embarrassed it had to do something. So they appointed a former union guy. Well, there you are. And this week we discover more of the same, thanks to, again, Nick Mackenzie. Corruption, thuggery, bullying, standover tactics. It's all there. The administrator, handpicked by Labor, was given the job of cleaning up the CFMEU. Nick believes nothing has improved. There's probably another Walkley in it for you, Nick. Another excellent front page story. He also reports, sadly, that his home has been broken into. Perhaps a coincidence? He says he thinks he knows who did it. Well, Nick, I tell you, if it looks like a duck and sounds like a duck and walks like a duck, it's usually a duck. We have a huge problem here, ladies and gentlemen. And this government, owned by the trade union movement, lock, stock and barrel, has a bit of a conflict here. The rising sun, ladies and gentlemen, coming up to the festival season. Festival and festive. Lots of nice lunches and dinners, I would suspect. But also, if you're looking to find a venue for an office party, they're good for product launches and all sorts of other things as well. 8333 0721. Give them a call. Lovely atmosphere, beautiful menu, wonderful wine list, fantastic service. And Jim Elder on 8267 2869, I'll give you that number again in a second, with the last auction of the year. Now this is an auction where Jim Elder sells not just to Adelaide or to Australia, he sells to the world, so you're guaranteed of getting the best prices. So if you've got a painting that you'd like Jim to appraise, give him a call, but do it quickly because the timeline would be fairly soon. That you've got to get it in the sale if you're going to get it in the sale this year. 8267 2869. Now the dates I would love to give you. If you're having a birthday, happy birthday. My glasses. Happy wedding anniversary. Hope it's been a nice day. Don't forget to join us tomorrow, 9 o'clock till 12, live streaming, jeremycordeaux.com. November the 6th today. Australia votes to keep the British monarch as their head of state in the Australian Republic referendum. Does anyone remember the date? The year? 1999 was the year. This was the day. And I think, for one, it was a very wise decision. Andrew not being considered. 1991, Russian President Boris Yeltsin outlaws the Communist Party. What? well, let's dress it up in a different way. Did that work? I don't know. 1991. Dear old Boris. He had an unhealthy relationship with vodka, as I remember. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, the fourth film based on the books by J.K. Rowling, premieres in London, goes on to become the most successful film of the year, earning almost $900 million. 2005. What a franchise. First test flight of the Hawker Hurricane, the fighter aircraft, that was 1935. 1945, the first landing of a jet on a carrier takes place on the USS Wake Island when a FR-1 Fireball touches down safely. I don't know what a Fireball looks like. But that was 1945. Gene Tierney. I was going to say, aircraft were on aircraft carriers way, way before that. But I guess that's jet, isn't it? Yes, it is. The first landing of a jet aircraft on a carrier. Yeah. Gene Tierney, American actress, Leave Her to Heaven, The Razor's Edge, Laura, dies of emphysema at the age of 70 in 1991. Glenn Fry, American Grammy Award-winning guitarist. Do you know him, Pete?
Yeah, from the Eagles.
The Eagles. Yeah. Take It Easy, Heartache Tonight, Tequila Sunrise, Smuggler's Blues, The Heat Is On, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Born 1948, died 2016. Catherine the Great, German Empress of Russia, who expanded the Russian Empire, dies of a stroke at 67, 1796. Nigel Havers, English actor. Chariots of Fire, Empire of the Sun, A Passage to India, Don't Wait Up, born London, 1949. James Bond, Man with the Golden Gun, starring Roger Moore, begins filming on this day in 1973. Sally Field, one more. Sally Field, American actress, Forrest Gump, Gidget, Flying Nun, born Pasadena, California in 1946. As I say, happy birthday if it's your birthday. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Do join us next Tuesday for another posting on Facebook. That'll be out, thanks to Pete, at 9 o'clock, and next Thursday. And, of course, our live streaming show tomorrow. Do join us. I'm Jeremy Cordeaux. Believe in yourself. Thank you for viewing the Court of Public Opinion.